I'm going to be honest, that last song stopped so abruptly. I was literally about to unmute stuff.
I saw that. You started unmuting.
and that song stopped. And it was like such a weird, hard transition that I was like, well, it's got to turn that off right now. I got to bring you back. All right. Hello. I see we have Jedi. We have Jedi. There's Jedi. Just kidding.
Will.
What's up?
Jedi's here.
What's up, Will? What's up,
Patrick
Kate?
is here.
What's up, everybody?
We're here.
All right.
We made it.
I think
Good job.
I think
I don't have that yet.
I hate it. You should disable it.
I hate
what's
it.
up, Becca?
I forget how do you get the fireworks? What's the fireworks again?
Double thumbs up, I think.
I thought that's what it was, but it's not giving me the. There we go.
You just need to held it. Yeah.
I just need to
prove
held
you're
it.
really excited.
Just turn it off. Will, I'm gonna just talk about
Just.
everything. I'm gonna talk about everything
I'm already
that you
pre-naming
told me
this
about
episode
5 minutes
Krabby
ago.
Patty.
That's what it's gonna be
Krabby
for me. That's what it's gonna be for me.
Get it?
Don't act excited about it. I don't want any enjoyment from either of you tonight. Thank you.
That's the name.
Oh, don't worry.
We're well on the way. Okay. All right, I'm killing this. This is gone.
I think we're like squared away.
Will, okay, Will, but you tell. I'll let other people look it up. I'm not going to show it on screen. That is exactly what it is. It is a charcuterie board, a little meat treat. I'm not going to pull it up on screen, but Will did point out the pentagram unveiled their latest logo for the Chrysler Art Museum today. Please take a look. Take a look, see what you think. It feels to me. I understand the concept of timeless. I do understand the concept of something that can persist and transcend trends. I understand that, but it feels very like 6 years ago to me, and I'm just surprised. I'm surprised that's what it is.
The half circle with the arches.
Yeah, Will says this is. Yeah, exactly. I have not. I used to pay a lot more attention to logo design, obviously at the agency, and then just when we were talking to more of those people. And I feel like for the last several years, I haven't paid attention. And then seeing this today, this just felt a little bit like, oh, have we not moved on from this?
Okay, I am gonna say though, I just Googled like the Google image search of this topic, and like it's a lot better than their old logo.
I don't know what their old logo was.
What was their old logo, Lauren? You know what? I'll look it up.
This is it. Hang on.
I can't ask people to. Oh, hello, Carol. Hello, Carol is here, which I think means that Arita and Stan are here as well. Hello. All right, show it to us.
I think it's this.
It's that. Yeah, the old one is just there. Yeah.
Oh, so that's what the little wire illustration is that they're doing on top of the page.
Yeah, so like I like this significantly better than this.
If you go to their webpage, Lauren, you go to the type in pentagram, Chrysler Museum of Art, whatever. If you do that, there's a video at the top of their like case study, and it shows like a wireframe that shows the old logo, and then it morphs into the new one.
Was that it?
That's no,
not at all.
Nope. It's gonna be on Pentagram's website.
Oh, I thought you said there. Okay, well, whatever. We can
whatever. It's good.
Later.
Patrick, there is a bit of there's a timelessness to this for sure. But I can also see an argument for laziness. So it's like it's just Helvetica, and it's just the arches and a half circle.
Mm-hmm.
Will, you might know more than me. Is this one of their donated logos, or is this one of their full price logos? Because
Actually,
I donated. Ooh.
That's a real question, I bet.
I wasn't.
But...
That's not a. I know that Pentagram does. I know that they still do like gifted work and donated work that they don't necessarily charge for anything.
This is not Helvetica. I was wrong in saying that.
It's Helvetica-like.
Wow. What Kreider shared in chat with the Kimmel Center for Cultural Campus or whatever, KCC.
Oh no.
It is so similar to the progression. That's hilarious.
Except I think their font is just like Arial. This looks like a draft. Like, ugh. I hate
tried
this.
clicking on it.
I hate
this
it.
does look. I will say, Kreider, this looks a little bit like we have Pentagram at home. That's a little bit what this looks like, but
Pentagram at home.
Okay.
Bizarre.
Oh,
but
boy.
we are going to be talking about
That's
heavy borrowing. Heavy art
regression
borrowing tonight.
That's a regression. That
between
logo.
those two, you think that
the Kimmel? No, the Kimmel Center.
Yeah, the second
is a
one.
regression.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna share it. I'll share it so we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, the Kimmel one is a regression. The other one is not. The other one is definitely.
Yeah, I think the other one is an
progression.
improvement, but the one that Kreider shared, no thanks.
For those that don't, have this pulled up, this is what Kreider shared, which funny enough, the one from Pentagram is the kind of like one shape, two other shapes, except it's like thank you.
Yeah.
You get chipmunk voice.
Pitched it up.
No, I understand you're not saying it's good. I understand you're not saying, which is good because it's not good.
No, I'm not saying it's good. That's how I picture.
I wouldn't say that at all.
Wait, okay,
guys,
so
are we
you
ready
think
to...
this is a step backwards?
Yes.
I think so. This
Yeah.
seriously to me looks like what you would like start with in your like Illustrator file before you like start changing the fonts and messing with stuff. Like this would be the very
you typed
first
in
step.
this is Myriad
You
Pro,
know?
and this is what the system standard font is, and then you start changing font. You're getting the layout, and then you start to
you're
change
just
your fonts.
you're just seeing what the type looks like, and like I feel like they opened their original file, saw it, and were like, I like that one. Like,
Okay, here's the thing.
That's nice.
I see Doc is here too. So Doc, I don't know if you've seen this as well, but Pentagram, this is the
I
new
like that.
the
That little
new
animation.
logo for.
So it's using their old
Chrysler Museum of
logo,
Art.
and then
So-
they're morphing
Yes.
that into, yeah. I think that's good. I mean, I think there is a timelessness to it. It does look like it's in the New York Metro. Like it's for sure just really clean.
I just think it feels done.
Oh,
I don't-
sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
I
It
don't
looks like
know.
something I've definitely
that's-
seen before.
But that's kind of part. That's like hand in hand with
Okay,
things
but
that
here's
are
what I'm
that
saying.
are timeless.
If this isn't a gifted one, if this is a paid for one, then this is like potentially this is a multi-million-dollar project. Is this what you would want on the end of that?
Yeah,
Here's
because
the
it's
thing,
not
like-
just the logo. It's a brand. Scroll back up. It's a branding project, and they have fully fleshed out this brand.
yeah.
See, like all
And-
those assets and things below, like all the different use cases, all the different formats, all the different layouts. This is a fully thought out brand. Now,
I'm just
whether
saying
you
Doc
like the
could have
logo
done this
or
for
not,
me. Doc could have
Yeah.
done this for me, and he would have charged much less than $4 million.
no.
I mean, the thing is, like, I'm sure that the clients, if they like, this is where they ended up, and this is what they like, then to them it's worth it. you know?
Anything is worth what people are willing to pay for it. So
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
would I pay $4 million for this? No, I would probably do this in an afternoon.
I do like it
But-
when I'm seeing more of the branding, like as a whole thing together. But yeah,
That's my point. Yeah, so like, it's
Yeah.
not just a logo; it's a full branding project, and from that perspective, yeah, like okay, it's way better than what they had before. They probably didn't really have a brand before; they had a logo,
yeah.
which is
All right,
How
but we
people
can all agree the KCCC logo is bad.
it's bad.
Bad.
It's bad.
Bad.
For sure bad. Okay.
Very bad.
Now, if I had done it, it would have been good. If I had done the exact same thing, it would have been a good use. Okay.
Oh, Will is still going for it. Okay.
I don't. Yeah, I agree with the thin
I
white
think,
stroke. I
like,
may as
if
well
that's-
just get
I
rid of
think
the
this
stroke.
is a fair comment, but I don't hate it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's very easy to achieve. I will say that.
Okay.
Like,
Okay. I'll say my one other thing, and I'll contextualize this. I understand the artists are borrowing, and that this is a style to borrow from. But I kind of feel like a graphic design artist in their senior year could give me that, if I'm honest.
I bet graphic design artists in their sophomore year could give that to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That's just the shape builder tool. I'm not saying that it's advanced. I'm saying the logo is very easy to do. The branding is different. Like
Yeah.
incorporating a brand, like fleshing out a full brand for a full like organization.
okay.
That's where the
Do you think we will ever return to the like dense or complex logos of yore?
yeah.
Yeah, I think we do now. I think there's logos now that feel that way. Not big corporate logos, but like
Yeah, because those are always
lot
very
of-
safe.
Yes. Those have definitely scaled back, but I think there's a ton of examples of oh gosh, like not I don't want to say
I was
artisan,
just thinking
but
that like we are kind of going on this. Hey, we can just start early.
yeah, and this actually is
Just keep
content
this.
appropriate to the show, which is what's crazy.
We'll just keep
but,
this.
But the like I
We
think
make
that there's lots of logos that have returned to very detailed iconography and characters and logo marks, but those aren't going to be your big companies. Those are going to be like coffee shops and real nice men's clothing stores and women's shoe brands and like things
going-
like that.
This is a little bit of an extreme, Doc, but this would be an example. This is the original Apple computer logo.
Yeah, we're never going
Yeah,
back to that.
we're away
That's
from
a little
that.
bit
This
extreme,
is like
and I
a full
understand that.
illustration. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like,
That is a full pencil illustration.
But
No-
come on,
no,
this
we're-
on a pen. This on a pen for like your 25 years working there. That's a pretty rad. Like that's a pen I want to own.
Sure. But you have to put in 25 years at Apple. Do you think you
And
can
I'm not gonna
kind
do
of get
that.
that kind
it's
of
funny
never
because
longevity?
gonna
like
do
up
that.
until right now, I've never made any connection between like
thing
Apple
is-
computers and like the Isaac Newton law of gravity until I've
If you want to maximize your income,
Oh,
you have to
yeah.
change careers every like 2 years because otherwise you work somewhere for 25 years and all they give you is a pen, and that's garbage. But I would buy this
did
pin
just
off
say
eBay.
you would work 25 years.
No. I would buy this pin off eBay from someone that did work there 25 years as they were selling it to pay for the other things in their home that they can't afford.
Because they didn't continue to progress in their job.
Which is what I would have done.
Hey, dude, they worked at Apple for 25 years, though. This person is not going to need to be selling this pin. We're just trying all the formats.
I forgot which
While we're
one.
at it, why don't we just do this one? I can't do it.
I was like,
It
it's
says-
the same.
It says orientation not available while live. Dang it! I was gonna switch it to the phone version.
Not going to happen.
Anyway, all right, let's get things started. That's enough talking about design. Let's talk about nonsense. Let's clap it in, everybody, in 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Here we go. Welcome to episode 548 of the Pop Culture Roundtable, the podcast that's no longer welcome at your local farmer's market. In this episode, we talk about the Dune runway outfit, Nacho Libre, and Simon Stålenhag and borrowing art. I'm Andrew Sale.
I'm Lauren Rubin.
I'm impressed you said that.
So stock up on the organic carrots, hand-carved soaps, and artisanal wax candles, because it's time for another episode.
It was one cucumber.
Okay. Your aunt is listening, Patrick.
I love it.
Good Lord. All right. We like to kick off every episode by going around the table, which is where we talk about things that are new, fun, and noteworthy about our weeks. Patrick, you seem like you've had a wonderful week. I can't wait to hear about it.
I've hated every moment of it. The problem is we just spent all this time before show dialoguing
I mean,
about
you could
nothing.
just like recut this in,
No. So no, I lost the thing I wanted to talk about. It's gone. Okay, hold on. I think I've refound it now. I've refound it. So
You've rekindled the magic.
okay, so I was prior to the show, I was talking to Will, and I was wanting my daily dose of inspiration. You know those websites like the Bored Panda or whatever it was called that you would go
Yeah,
to
back in the
and
day.
yeah, like and every day they would have like some new art article that you would read and.
I've never read that one, but I read the die line, which is the same thing for product,
Oh,
like packaging
yeah.
design.
I remember the die line. And there's what was the poster one? I'll think of it
What was
later.
the poster one?
I
Okay.
don't know.
OMG posters. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Huh. Well, Will is that for me now.
Will
care at all
is
what
your
y'all say.
he's your daily design
Yes.
information. Okay.
And so Will told me about the world of absurdist. What's his exact words we described it? He described it as absurdist performance art. And he asked the question, is it art? And I'm going to show you 2 examples very quickly.
I know
It's
exactly
really
what
funny
you're gonna
because
show.
like I feel
And
like
the
of all
answer
the
is no.
things like of all the art to choose to show to you, this is not what I would pick.
No.
Like
You wouldn't pick absurdist art?
No.
absurdist performance art would not be my first choice. Of like, what is Patrick really going to be into?
That would be like us. That would be like us recommending for you to read an anime book.
yeah.
Okay. So
Like,
this is
please
the
read
first.
all of the Evangelion manga, like in the old, like left, right to left version.
Oh,
Okay,
I've
so-
seen this.
Right now, we have a person shaping a mound of dirt using water in their body. It's probably, what is this, like 8 feet by 8 feet, but it's a cylinder,
Yeah.
and they are leaning against it, applying pressure, creating this smooth surface.
It's packed mud, is what it is.
Sure, it's packed mud. Yeah, I agree. And
they're
He
just
just fall.
Hugging this,
he
he
just
did.
tripped.
thing?
He did. And the question is this art? Allegedly sold for $8 million. I don't buy it for a second. I think you say that right
Yeah, 'cause
before
you can't
release
afford
your
$8 million.
no, right before you release your second like mud sculpture, and then that one you really try to sell. You know, this is the equivalent of Budnitz bicycles being sold out before they ever produced one.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think they actually sold this.
This
but
is weird.
okay,
The answer in my mind is no.
Okay. So let me show you a second one.
I would argue the performance of like him doing this thing is more artistic than the piece
where the
created
art
at the
is.
end, though. That's
But,
kind
like,
of I think where
purchasing
the
that for $8 million. No,
yeah. If they hired him to sculpt this for 4 months or something, that might be
locked
worth
him in
$8
the
million.
basement,
Yeah,
just a bunch of
like just
mud.
do whatever you're gonna do with this spinning mud wheel, bro.
Now, now if he was there for a year, every day doing this thing, okay, then maybe, yeah. The performance then at that point, there's a commitment to it that you can admire, but no.
Doesn't
But I
it
think
look like
the
this would feel
actual
so
thing
good?
itself.
It does look like it would feel nice, yeah.
And it's got to be exfoliating at the same time.
Yeah, I really
He's got to
wanna
have
touch it.
great skin.
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree with that.
So this one, this is
But
the
I don't
other
think
one.
you said. I don't think you said this, but I've seen this one too. I don't think you said this, but it's just his face. He's not using like any other part of his body to sculpt this thing. He's just
Yeah.
leaning his
Really
face
understand
against
that
it.
was what was happening.
I
Watching
don't
the
think it
video.
looks painful. I don't think it
really
looks
weird.
painful. Okay, so this one,
Doc says, "I
well, I'll
bet
show
he
you.
stinks."
this is artist Roman Singer.
Yep.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. This is the end. Let's see the full speed.
So it's just
He pulls
buckets of
the
paint.
pin from it to release the thing. Yeah.
We're watching it unfold
it's
right
letting
now.
sand out.
This is
enough
a
to
big
make this
stack of
unstable.
buckets, I think, filled with paint.
It's
and
nope, it's
they
not
look-
paint. It's sand,
Oh.
and they are
Okay.
a bunch of red buckets filled with sand. And he
Yeah.
pulled a pin from the bottom one that starts to allow sand to come out. And then as the sand
Oh,
gets shifty enough, then all of the buckets fall, and then they lay on the ground. And then he puts his hands up like, ta-da!
I'm gonna be on, but hold on.
That's exactly what happens.
The final resting place of this stuff, I think, looks awesome.
okay.
Like
so you paid
I
$8 million for this.
100%
well,
buy
then
this
you're kind
as
of pro this one.
Then
I see.
then you do like performance art.
I 100% buy the final resting place of this as a beautiful installation. Just like look at it. Look at it.
Yeah. How did it get there?
Would you just look at it?
Look at that. Just look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, look at that.
I don't know. This one was interesting enough. I went to his website and looked at some of his other work. His other work somehow is worse.
Buckets was
all
his
of
What do
it.
you mean? What do you mean somehow worse? Like, it's the ones that didn't make it to TikTok. Obviously, they're worse.
No, okay, so some of his work is good. But like this, for instance, like this is something I would have done when I was 6 years old. Shove two umbrellas in the ground, call it artwork, like as though two people had been there.
Yeah.
Right.
The rapture. We call this one the rapture.
This is garbage. And the photo's not good. The coloring's not good. Like this is just bad.
Lauren's
The
just catching
composition
up.
of this photo is like just awful. Like so
It
bad.
is so
Like there's
And he has
nothing
produced
special about
this.
this picture.
Someone
like,
walks
just,
by with their Nokia flip camera.
Yeah.
and just,
and just like printed 1,000
And
copies.
he's not a young guy, and this is from within the last 8 years. This
Well,
is like
This is so
later
bizarre.
in his developed life. This is bad. Now this, I mean, this looks like an accident.
it's like, yeah, he was.
I
gonna
like
set
this
these
one
up.
more. This one is.
I like
only
it-
be-
I do
but
like
hang
it
on,
more.
but hang on. Can we agree that it's you only like this one more? Okay, I'm gonna assert that you
I
only
hated the
like
last
this one
one.
more because of the camera angle. It makes it seem interesting. But
Okay, here's the
outside of
thing, if
camera
I-
angle,
If it was this,
But if I saw, but if I saw that wooden one like in the room, I would want to walk up to it and examine it. It intrigues me. I'm interested.
okay, sure.
I'm at
now,
least gonna give it that.
this is ocean toilet.
I don't
into
know if I'm
nowhere.
gonna like it better that way. But
Ocean toilet to that's not what it's called. Okay, I thought
No,
that was the actual
I was like, is this
title.
just a really fancy modern bathroom? Like it does kind of look like it could be.
That's just a
kayak.
kayak with a hole drilled in it with a fountain going through it.
It is.
These pictures are literally so unspecial. I just can't like.
Yeah.
They just moved
So-
an object into the frame. That's it. It's so
I
bizarre.
guess to answer the question of is it art, it's not, Roman. It is in fact not art.
And that's just fans blowing a
a
ribbon.
ribbon.
That's weighed down by two
this
paperweights.
is one of the better photos on his website, though.
This
yeah, but
picture
the
is
actual
really bad as
installation
well.
is
This one looks
so
pixelated
strange.
compared to the other ones.
I just
Okay.
This is hilarious, though.
How does this keep happening?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm so
Fixed.
important.
That's it. So that's Roman Singer. If you want to check out his art, and I keep saying Singer. You know what? It's not Singer. It's SIGN. So Roman Signer. If you want to check out his art, it's houseworth.com, and if you can figure out how to spell it, then you can go check it out.
What was his name again? Roman what?
Roman Swinger.
Yeah, I've been saying singer this whole time. Is Signer, Signer. So that's what it is.
Because he keeps signing those checks, right?
Got to figure out how to look this up later.
He does. How do you think he afforded that kayak to drill a hole in it?
Let me tell you this. This is a guy who I guarantee you, when it was Science Fair week, he woke up that morning and went, "Oh shit." And this is the guy who did that when he was in school.
This is an example, I think, of like ageism, but in a very beneficial way. He's an older man. Yeah, not
like,
the normal
wow, he
bad
learned
kind.
to use a camera all by himself.
I don't mean this in like a bad way.
He's like, because he's an older guy with gray hair and he's doing art. I think people make this assumption that it must be good
it's
because
elevated.
How did he make it this long in life off of his art?
Yeah.
You know, it like this must be good art.
That's true. Like there's like a perceived level of excellence or a perceived level of respect that you give to the art just based on where he is, how advanced he is in age. But that doesn't necessarily equate to class or sophistication or excellence. I think there's something there, Patrick.
Because Will, if one of your students did the bucket thing, would you pass them?
He would take a picture. He would take a picture of it for his trash art thing that he's doing right now.
Will's the wrong example. Will absolutely would.
I have to say though, in college, I did take a like performance art class, and like you could do anything in that class and get an A. It basically, like, did you show up and attempt to do this? Good job, you win. Because it was absolutely ridiculous.
It's the participation grade. Is what it is.
Someone literally just like ate burgers until they threw up. That was their performance art.
That's my Thursday.
Okay. Not with burgers, but I have done that. All right, Andrew.
For art?
It's for art, Mackenzie. It's for art. Okay, let me run through a couple of things real quick. One, this is just a fun little PSA for everybody who's listening, who enjoys the game with which we love to play. In April, we just got an announcement today that in April there is an official Lego and Dungeons and Dragons collaboration coming out.
I saw this. I was so mad that this came out right after I had toys, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Well,
but yes,
maybe it'll
really
come out
cool.
next time you have toys, and you can actually talk about it, because we only got a teaser. We don't even know what they're doing, but they announced that's happening.
No, I saw a leak of the actual set.
Well, then hold
Twitter
on
the
to it
other
until
day.
you have toys next time.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find that really quick.
Okay, while you're looking for that, a couple of other things. Our friend JP went to Disney this past week and came back with a couple of cookies for me. But on top of cool, we're just gonna show.
I pressed the wrong button. And then it doesn't matter. Just take that from the top. Our friend JP.
Our friend JP just got back from Disney, and he came back with a couple of cookies for me. But then on top of the cookies, he did bring back this print from Gideon's, the Bakehouse. This is their I don't know the name of this character, but it's a super fun print from Mr. Big Eyes, which is the guy who does or Mr. Eyes, Mr. Big Eye. I don't remember what his actual name is. But it's a cool little print of this owl who looks very much like he's playing Dungeons and Dragons. He looks like a fanciful, he's a rogue of some sort who's gone out and he's out in the woods. But that's a cool little print that he brought back. Thank you, JP. And then I want to show, this week has been a week for me to get involved in golf. Cooper, it was spring break for Cooper, and we wanted to get out and play some golf, and so I had to go get my clubs re-gripped. So I've got brand new grips on my gloves, which I'm gloves on my clubs.
I feel like this is all happening because of me, and it makes me very happy.
It's not happening.
I know it's not.
No.
But
I'm saying it's not happening not because of you. The amount of golf talk we've been having and seeing it has definitely put it back inside of my mind.
Yeah. Congratulations, Scotty Scheffler, at the Players this past weekend.
Look at this beautiful, squishy grip for my putter. It's nice. I've never had a nice grip like that for my putter. Anyway, my set is sitting right next to me right now, and I got out and played with Cooper, and he is good. I'm just a little bit better. So I beat him by 1 on both golf outings that we did this week. We did a putt-putt in this, like, what can only be described as a completely vertical course. And
it is one of the most dangerous things I've been to in my life.
It absolutely is. It was a very dangerous, rocky, pretty much just a 70-degree angle for most of the course. Cooper's watching. Cool, great. So
and calling you out, saying it wasn't as hard.
Well, I still did beat him by 1 stroke both games. So I'm just saying. Saying. I know that he's 14, but I felt good because when we went out there, I'm like, Cooper, you're gonna for sure beat me. I beat him on the short game. That's where I got him. But that was fun. So I'm excited to get back out there now that my clubs are re-gripped. I'd actually like to go and maybe play again sometime in the next couple weeks, as the weather is still nice before it starts to get blazing hot again. And then Cooper, on the topic of Cooper and I have been reading this book. We're about almost halfway through now, but it's this book called Rules for a Night.
Ooh,
and this is a book by Ethan Hawke, but he didn't actually write it. It actually comes from, I want to say, what year was it? It's like... Oh man, I had this information and then I totally lost it. But where is it? It comes from this book that was written from a knight to who was a grandfather to his son who he was to his grandson who he was teaching how to become a knight. And this has been transcribed into English, and Ethan Hawke and his brother put this thing together.
Bravo, Will.
Nice work. But his brother, so Ethan Hawke did the transcribing, like the writing portions and like little pieces. But then his brother, for each little chapter, did hand drawings for each of these things.
Oh, that's nice.
But each chapter is just another value or another character trait of a knight. Like the first one is solitude. One of them is humility. One of them is grace, gratitude, and they're just like 3 to 5 pages a piece, and they chronicle the story of this grandfather who's teaching his grandson how to become a knight, and this actually happened. There's actual stories that they share from knighthood and things through this book, and so Cooper and I are going through it. It's really cool. So if you have a son. Or you just want to read through it, you have like a reading group or something, it's a great thing to read through. The whole book starts with this analogy of there being 2 wolves. One is greedy and is gluttonous and is all these things. And then the other wolf is valiant and honorable and charitable and all these things. And the question comes like, which wolf wins? And the grandfather essentially says it's whichever wolf you feed, right? And so it's that idea that whichever of these 2 wolves you feed is the one that wins at the end of the day. And so the whole book is about feeding the right wolf, and it's a really, really great book. So I think that's it. There's a couple of other things that I want to share, but I think they can wait until next week. Lauren, what do you got for us?
I'm going to bring this up really quick, though, while we were talking about this Lego D&D thing.
Oh, that's the set?
Yeah. And then
that's less exciting to me.
Characters. I think it's really cool.
It's cool, but I was expecting something that could be used.
That's
like
fair.
a dice.
Like a dungeon
I would love for them
like
to build like a dice or something. Like kind of like
it would have been cool if it was actually like a dungeon with like hexes, so you could play through it with minifigures, you know?
Yeah, something like that. That feels like that would be more useful to me. But
that would be sick.
Anyway.
But I just found that one, so it is really cool. I'm sure there's going to be more sets than just that one anyway.
Yeah, there may be.
Okay, so this was a.
She had to reset.
I did. It's fine. It's fine.
I
Your
did.
brain fully shut down and rebooted. It was.
You had to do that earlier too, so like
true.
in the middle of a sentence.
With Patrick, that's called buffering. With you, it's called rebooting.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this week I watched 3 different musicals, so I think I'm just gonna keep my around the table to this topic. So I'm going to go in order of which ones you guys most likely have seen to least likely. So the first one I know you have seen because you talked about it was Wonka. That's on HBO Max now. Oh. What did you say?
The Working Girl the musical. Have you not seen it?
I heard that one's coming out soon. It's on the way. But yeah, I saw Wonka. It's pretty good. I I do understand what, like, I remember you talking about like why you like thought Timothée Chalamet was a good choice, and I could like see some of that in the movie, but I do think the one thing is that he's not that great of a singer.
Oh, I disagree.
I think they really could have found someone who's got a little more singing chops, and that would have really changed the movie.
But would it would have changed the movie, but would it have changed the movie for the better? Because he's not singing the whole time. And the charm that you get with his character is more indicative of Wonka than the singing part is, in my mind.
Like, I think that you could have found someone who could do both. And like, I think Timothée Chalamet is a really good actor, just not a great singer. And like, I think that like him being the lead in a musical movie, that just, I think sometimes I'm like, I wish he was a little more oomph in him. But like, I thought overall the movie was really good. I cried at the end. Like, I still really liked a lot of things about it. And
of course you did, because you're not a monster and you're not a robot. That movie was.
But yeah, charming. I thought it was really cute, and it's very charming. I like how like kind of clever the story was, because like when it first came out, like as an idea, I'm like, I am not interested in a Willy Wonka prequel movie. That doesn't sound interesting to me. But I think they actually came up with a clever story. It feels like super Roald Dahl, like how they have like the three villains and stuff, like all that kind of stuff. Like, I really thought that it fit well. I think like it was a lot more fun than I was kind of expecting, and the costumes and sets and like musicalness of it was really, really, really fun. And I think they did all that stuff so well. Like, the production stuff is awesome and really great.
Not acting, but only voice, only singing. What voice? Who do you want singing it?
I actually talked about this with my coworker, and like, I don't necessarily know like who the people are that would be the best pick for this. Like, someone probably that's on Broadway right now, like that would
Lauren,
be like
that is a.
But I don't know who those
classic
people are.
Picking out a problem without a solution. Picking out a problem without a solution.
I'm not saying I hated the movie or anything. I just think like he's not
Mika?
the greatest singer.
Do you think it should have been Mika?
Mika?
What type of voice are you envisioning?
Chocolate can be brown, it can be blue, it can be.
I'll have to think about that, I guess. Like, I don't necessarily like have like who would be the person like in mind. And like I said, Did he
not sound like it was like not old enough? Did his voice need to be like gruff enough? Like gruff?
No, I think not like he's just not a very powerful singer. I don't know. Like, I just don't think that he really like had that thing. I don't know how to describe it exactly. Like,
my
I think
favorite
like
thing right now is that Patrick's mom, Carol, has messaged me to totally slam you in my text thread. She said, here, and I quote, she said, "Lauren is absolutely wrong. She's the worst person I've ever met. Also, I think he was a great singer." She may have only said the last part of that.
Okay.
It's true. You never met my mom, but she can cut deep. She can cut deep.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we'll leave it at that then. I can't convince everybody, but that was my opinion.
You should move on to the next musical.
You've made enemies with Carol.
I have. A line has been drawn. All right, so comparing to the next musical that I watched, which was the Mean Girls musical that they just added on Paramount Plus, and I thought that these girls are all like, they have that thing that is like, these are very good singers, but the movie was afraid to be a musical so much that they didn't let them do their thing enough, and that's kind of what made this movie suffer a lot.
So they felt reined in?
Yeah, I feel like there's very clear moments of this is when it's a musical and this is when it's a movie, and never the two shall meet. Like, the transitions to like when they're not singing were not awesome in my opinion, and it just feels like they didn't kind of mesh the two ideas as well as they could have, which is strange because it is a successful stage musical, and maybe this is kind of the piece that a lot of people said was missing from the movie version, is that like it wasn't as good as the stage musical. I haven't seen that one, so I was like, the movie is good but it's not great, and I think it's because it's trying to be two things, and it was like the fact that the trailers didn't show that it was a musical kind of shows you the attitude that they had about it being a musical, I think, and that kind of proves the point of it.
They're afraid of it. They're afraid of it.
That's literally what it feels like. They were Yeah, and Mackenzie is right that most of the cast that was in the movie was in the Broadway production. They're excellent, and I think like I hope that all those actresses get to do stuff like after this, because I thought all of them were really good, and like there's some really fun moments when they fully go musical, like really fun choreography and like fun shots, and they're really cool. But I just think overall they didn't quite land this one either. But I really enjoyed it, and the music is very fun.
I think I had seen 2 or 3 trailers for it before I knew it was a musical. So like that, it's interesting.
I was confused,
that thread in the marketing continued to the actual film itself.
I think that they might have like re-edited the film to like be safer in that regard of like, well, if people don't like musicals, what are we gonna do? You know, like, and yeah, I think Wonka was better
fair.
at like being a musical.
But I agree that the marketing was also misleading for it.
Oh, so, yeah, it was weird. Like the Mean Girls one was confusing because I was like, I know that they're making a musical version, but is this it? And then Wonka was like the opposite. I'm like, oh, it's a musical? When did that happen?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how could it be with Timothée Chalamet's voice? That's weird.
maybe the production company or the marketing.
Hey, Russell Crowe wasn't good in Les Mis either. Like, there's a lot of examples of this.
That's really terrible. Terrible.
There's a whole bit where
so is all of Les Mis. So
Les Mis.
Les Mis.
Less miserable.
It's the show about the chip company.
It's sponsored by them, so they just shifted the name for it. So.
We're rewatching, or Becca's watching for the first time, but I'm rewatching Modern Family. I think I mentioned that like last week or the week before, and there's an episode that we watched just this past week where Cam and Mitchell reference how bad of a singer Russell Crowe was on Les Mis, so and how they should have picked a different choice. So that's funny that came up again twice in a month.
It's just one of those things,
especially
that, like,
10 years after the movie's been out.
He's never gonna live it down. It also doesn't help that like. Yeah, like everyone else is quite good, and yeah,
I wanted to walk out of that movie so bad. I actually, if instead of watching the film, if I just watched like a recorded version of the stage show, I probably would have loved it. But the film was my introduction to Les Mis. The stage show
is cooler, also just because of the way that they do the set and everything. It's like, yeah.
I love the music from Les Mis.
Yeah, it's great. It's one of the best musicals
I
ever. If you haven't seen Les Mis, go watch some version of it.
Yeah. Okay, Lauren, what's your third one? All
right, third one is one that I'm sure no one else but me has seen, but I really want to like sell this to you guys because I love it. And of the 3 that I saw, this is the one where like I've been playing the music afterwards. I've been like the songs were stuck in my head. It was super good. So it is called Has Been Hotel, and it is on Amazon. Oh my gosh, you guys know about this? I'm so excited.
Right. I haven't
oh my
seen
god.
It. No,
not at all. Oh my god. That was the worst prank in the world.
I love that. Patrick and I knew. We knew.
I hate you guys.
We knew the assignment. The second you set us up for that, we knew what
in the moment, my thought was, Andrew has seen this? That's what I was thinking while I was reacting.
I knew what you were doing.
Well, now you guys have to watch it to make up for that.
Oh, gosh. You were so excited for like 5 seconds.
Oh, I really was. I have to like now I have to reset.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, reboot.
All right, but yeah, so very, very good. Has Been Hotel is on Amazon. It's kind of like I wanted to like maybe save this for a master category, but honestly, I'm like too excited about it, and I just want to share it and like get it out there faster.
Doesn't sound like you.
No, not at all. But the kind of like idea of this is it is a cartoon like animated series, but it's very, very adult. And the idea is that it follows like this lady Charlie. She is the princess of hell. She is the daughter of like Lucifer and Lilith, and she creates the Has Been Hotel, which is a non-violent alternative to reforming the souls in hell so that they can go to heaven, so that the angels no longer have to go through the chore of coming down to hell every year and just murdering a bunch of them instead.
Yeah,
which seems terrible for every
tale as old as time.
yeah, obviously very, very standard. But it's really, really, really good. There's this like very cool world building that they set up with like how this like kind of truce between heaven and hell started, and like everything takes place in hell more or less. There's only a couple scenes out of there, but like there's like, depending on where there are different circles of hell. There are like a whole court of demon lords and stuff that I would watch an entire series about them just to like know more about it. The like character designs are so cool. Like it's really fun and cool. And like, the characters kind of come in and out of the Has-Been Hotel, or it's like people who like interact with them as they kind of go on this mission. And it is like a really great series. The music is so freaking awesome. There's like all different kinds of styles of music included in this, and like just freaking excellent though. Like
It's
I was
animated.
like, yeah, it is animated, and it's a really crazy style. It's kind of like a little Teen Titans, a little Invader Zim, like a little. I see a lot of like anime like flourishes in it, but that is definitely not an anime series at all. Just like maybe someone who did something like me where they like learned to draw from anime, so you have some of those things in your style. But like I love this show. Like it was so good.
So all kidding aside,
Mhm.
I think I do know one of the lead character designers or animators, because I believe she also worked on the Mickey Mouse shorts, like the original Mickey Mouse shorts, like the newer versions of them.
Mhm.
And I'm blanking on her name right now, but I'm gonna try to look through the IMDb page to see if I can track her down. But her style is very much this, and this has a very cool. It almost looks like Star and the Forces of Evil. Have you seen that show? It's on Disney
No.
Plus. Star and the Forces of Evil. You would love that
No,
show.
I'll have to check
She'll
that
have
out.
seen
Yeah.
it all by lunch tomorrow.
Yeah, there's several seasons, so you may have to wait
I'm
until
looking at it
dinner
now.
tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, I can kind of see this. Yeah, for sure.
This looks cool. Cooper and I might pick this up next time he's
You
here.
might be careful with Cooper. There's some very adult shit stuff in there. It's like
very adult shit stuff. Well, he's listening right now.
I was
so.
trying to be better.
So now you're just giving both
Cooper,
words.
cover your ears whenever Lauren talks.
I'm doing my best today.
Patrick's aunt is on the call, Lauren. Good Lord.
I'll tell you later. I'll tell you when you're older. But yeah, so I really thought this was cool. It's already been picked up for a second season. I do think that the creator and this art and stuff has been around for a while. Like the original pilot was like a YouTube short that the creator made, and it got picked up by A24 and Amazon. So that in itself is kind of a cool story. One day I will dive into all of this. I kind of just watched this, so I'm like reading about it and learning about it myself. But
I want to
it's
draw
really cool.
it.
What?
I want to draw these characters.
I do too. I really want to try it because it's just like a really cool style. Or I was thinking like drawing characters in that world because like they just have a really fun flair. Like it's very cool looking.
Yeah.
And I think I've seen people like dressed as this before, but hadn't quite put together what it was from. I'm just like, oh, that looks neat. But like now
They're
that
like
I've
a
like seen it
ringleader
all,
from like Ringling Brothers, like a circus leader.
yeah, there's like with the big red coat. Are you looking at like Alistair, the guy with the like fox ears?
I don't know characters' names, but
Does he have like fox ears?
It's a woman.
Okay, never mind.
Well, it's a feminine looking character. I don't know how they identify.
Are they wearing all red?
They are wearing all red.
That is probably the one I'm thinking of.
Okay, with sharp teeth too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
I think
yeah.
all the characters have sharp teeth now. That I'm
Yeah,
looking
they're
at
all
the
demons.
images. They're all
Yeah.
demons. Okay.
Even the like angels wear masks that like have teeth and stuff. Like it's pretty cool. Like the style and like I said, like the world building that this kind of sets up is very exciting to me. And I'm like, it's already been renewed for a second season. They have a spin-off series that's on YouTube called Hell of a Boss. So I'm kind of like learning more about this, but it's a really, really cool little universe. So check out Has-Been Hotel on Amazon.
I found Alistair. This is who
Mhm.
you're talking about. I'm sure of it. For everyone who's listening right now or who's watching, that's Alistair,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
I was like,
okay.
where's all red? Yeah.
Patrick, does this look like anything that would interest you?
No.
Okay, cool.
You don't like cartoons for whatever reason, so
Yeah. I don't
Yeah, for whatever reason. There's no way to know for sure.
it doesn't make any sense, honestly, because cartoons are great, but it's a
Okay.
really great series. You could just
So that
listen
was
to the
a-
music.
So that was a very musical around the table. Is that
Yeah.
going to be it for you?
That is it for me.
Well, then I guess it's time for us to head to our master categories. So everybody just hold on to your seats because it's time for master categories.
By the way, Jedi Robbies, thank you for the 24 months. Creator Design, thank you for the 26 months. Hey, everyone. Andrew, thank you for the 24 months. And all that stuff. Great.
This episode's brought to you by Dos Equis and the letter X. All right. Not sponsored. Here we go. The master categories each week are when we talk about the dice we rolled the week before. Those dice give us our categories and we pick our topics based on those categories. Can you believe it? Lauren, since you finished us off, why don't you just pick it right back up where you were and tell us what you're talking about today?
Yes, awesome. Okay, so I got fashion and I had the anytime fashion, but the first thing that popped in my head that I immediately wanted to talk about, because this is very recent, was the really, really, really amazingly cool outfit that Zendaya wore to the Dune 2 premiere in London. And if you don't know which one I'm talking about, it is the one that looks like a suit of armor from the future. And I do have pictures, of course.
With portholes.
Yes, with lots of portholes. 1 second. Here we go. I have pictures because this is so cool. Yes, there you go. So this is it was very Metropolis C3PO kind of robot, but all silver. And it's but kind of mixed more with a suit of armor. And there are cutouts on the boobs, on the stomach, on the arms and the thighs, and then of course on her booty. In the back, I found a really funny article that was describing this, and the headline was Zendaya wore a butt-bearing silver suit of armor at the Dune 2 London premiere, and I thought that was hilarious.
Butt-bearing was the name of my band in college.
Yes. But this outfit is just the coolest thing that I've seen someone wear in so long. Obviously we see cool dresses and stuff all the time, but this is, I think, something that I've never seen anyone do anything even close to this. And you can barely move in it. It's definitely for fashion. There's no other.
Would you say that she went as Z3PO?
Yes, I like that. Yes.
I don't like it at all. Okay, so explain. I know that there's a reason for this, or it's paying actually, I might be wrong. Let me not say
go for it.
Lauren,
go for it. I'm curious
Lauren,
what you know.
No, you tell me what you know. Why did she wear this outfit?
I mean, I think it's because it's really freaking cool. Number one, it's very perfect.
The hard-hitting journalism.
Number one. Number two, obviously the sci-fi, kind of thing fits with the Dune theme and all of that. But I think what you are getting at is that it is very similar to the Metropolis robot, which is kind of sci-fi history. Is that what you're sort of going for there?
That was my understanding, or at least that's the reasoning people were giving, is that it was the throwback, and so
to the early 80s outfit that was worn to one of these red carpet events.
What was interesting is she was getting a lot of flack for I saw her getting a lot of flack for this outfit, which I
saw none. I saw only the only joke I saw was what if she farts in it?
I was just hanging around with Andrew, and Andrew hated it.
That's actually not true. Oh, different Andrew. You're talking about the other Andrew.
Yeah.
My question, Lauren, you might have the answer to this, is I don't think she's actually naked under that suit. I think she's wearing a bodysuit underneath, right?
Yeah. I looked at a bunch of pictures of this. There is a nude bodysuit under there, but it's still definitely the nude illusion is illusioning. It looks very nice.
Yes.
It looks really cool.
Nude Illusion was the name of my band in college as well.
Yeah, for sure.
It went from
and I love the kind of style choices of doing this necklace with this and everything. It's very subtle, but I think that's just it
She's
kind of
wearing
almost
the
looks like
crown
chainmail. Yeah, I forgot to write down the name of the jeweler who did this, but she's a representative for them. But I just think it's such a cool way to incorporate the jewelry into the outfit, because it looks kind of where you would usually see chainmail in regular armor. So it just kind of blends in naturally to your eye. And then when you look closer, you see that this is this really cool, beautiful accessory that kind of just it's just kind of wow. Honestly, this is just one of the coolest things ever.
Do you think this is something they assemble at the end of the red carpet? And then,
I have so many questions of how do you wear it? She could, when you watch videos of her, it seems very hard to move in. It's actually made of metal and plastic. It's a kind of an insane piece. It's just truly something you never see. And she had to change clothes to go watch the movie afterwards.
Well, much
obviously.
like Anthony Daniels, right? He walks the way he does in the Star Wars films, not because that was a character choice, but out of necessity.
Oh yeah, because
he you can't move in that armor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Now, I'm sure that advancements in technology, they could make those outfits now that are much more mobile. But in the original films, when they established how he walks, it's because he can't move in that armor. So it's
So
very
I
similar to
actually
her.
would like to bring that up now because this is actually like a piece that was made in the like late 90s. It is not like a new piece, which is what I looked at this and thought it looked so new and futuristic and like modern that like it was probably made for this movie premiere because like it works for this so well, like it fits the theme, you know. But
Mhm.
this is actually the original one. Hang on. Here. I turned it on, I forgot. Sorry. There you go. And it had like a full
There it
face
is.
helmet and
Yes.
stuff. It's a little bit different. But like
Oh,
yeah, no, this is
gosh.
like the actual like original runway version that they wore. Like it has even more armor kind of looking at it and stuff. But
And somehow it's more form fitting.
yeah, well, I think this outfit was made for this woman. Like it was
Yeah.
made around her body, and Zendaya wore it now. You know,
I think they literally
Yeah.
like welded it onto her
Yeah, it
onto her
looks
body.
like it's perfect on her. Like it was
Yeah.
definitely like made for her.
That
It
is
looks really
gnarly.
cool.
Lauren, now would you ever wear something like this to a Comic-Con?
I wish that I like felt confident enough to ever wear something like that at
Okay.
Comic-Con.
Imagine you were 3 inches taller. Then would
I
you
was
wear
like,
it?
yeah, if I looked
Why
like
didn't you-
Zendaya, yes, I would wear this to Comic-Con.
Why didn't you ask me if I would wear it?
Because I know you'd wear it, Patrick.
I would absolutely. I would look like a can of biscuits that's set in like the dash of the car.
A can of biscuits that's been hit against the counter. So
Yeah, that's what it would look like. But absolutely.
oh, but hey, at least it's gonna be those Pillsbury Grands, right? With the butter already in
The
them.
good stuff.
Yeah.
Do you like the ones with extra layers?
Yeah. You can peel. Yeah. I'm with you.
Okay. Sorry, Lauren. What were you saying?
No, I'm
Just thinking
I was
about
taken
biscuits.
in by the
now.
imagery,
Yeah,
you
no,
know.
we gotta get done here so I can go make some biscuits.
I think I'll call it done. But yeah, I just thought this was like the coolest thing that I've seen in a long time. So I definitely wanted to call us out as the fashion moment.
I love it. I think that's a great. I think that's a great callback because it happened a couple weeks ago, and we were doing. It happened, I think, the week of trivia, and we would have normally talked
Yeah.
about it, but we didn't have a show.
Yeah,
that we
I
were
would have
doing
brought
that,
this
and-
up around the table because it's just
'Cause-
honestly like so like cool. It, like I would watch a movie with this character in it. I don't know who she is, but I want to know. Like, like I'd be.
Well,
so
her
down
name's
for that.
Barbara, and she's
Yeah.
just a working girl.
It's Barbarella, baby.
Okay, all right. Who you throwing it to?
Patrick, why don't you go?
All right, so let me tell you this story. This is Simon Stålenhag, and the way this started, Future Art. Andrew and I did a little swap today, and as part of that swap, I immediately went to Will and was like, "Will, tell me something to talk about." That's not exactly what happened, but kind of what happened. So I was talking to Will, getting my daily dose of content, and he reminded me about Simon Stålenhag and this is a person that does. There are these futuristic paintings, but it's futuristic elements added into these. It's a lot of like rural settings or kind of very like plain settings. And I'm going to scroll through this and let you see a bit of it. But when I was going through his work, and again, this will feel like these kind of classic Americana pieces, but with futuristic elements. It felt very reminiscent of something else. I'm curious, Andrew, if any of this artwork feels familiar to you at all.
It feels a lot like the artwork from Scythe.
Okay. I am so
The first one looked
glad
like
that
Chernobyl.
you said that. It also, yes, sure. It also reminded me of the artwork from Scythe. And so one of the first things I wanted to know is, did this person work on Scythe? Because I didn't remember the artist's name. So I Googled
Mr.
Simon.
Wolf or something, right?
I Googled Simon's name with Scythe, and I found this article where people were talking. So the actual artist for Scythe is Jacob Rozalski, who he has one eye, little green monster. Just kidding. So Jacob Rozalski.
Jacob Wazowski.
Yeah, exactly. This is actually a response by Jamie Stegmaier. So Stonemeyer Games, which is Jamie Stegmaier. We've had Jamie on the show before, but they're
many
actually
moons ago.
Many moons ago, but they're who put out Scythe. This is actually respite for respite. Oh my god. I'm
got a tune on your mind.
Just thinking about those biscuits.
I am. The orange ones are better though.
He's got biscuit brain. That's fine.
This is actually a response from Jamie Stegmaier, actually responding to the assertions that Jacob Rosalski stole from other artists, or at least like traced or copied from other artists.
Wow. Okay.
And one of the artists that gets mentioned is Simon. This is one of the artists that comes up. Go ahead, Andrew.
No, so I was just going to ask, but you might answer it right now. So is it goes that way and not the other way?
Correct. And so this is a long conversation. So apparently the allegations had happened I say allegations, that makes it sound really, really serious, but he had been accused of this several years before. And then Jamie's kind of responding to part of it here. And then this goes on to be a longer conversation, but there were people that went together, that went and put together these compilations of artwork from Scythe or from Jacob and the other artwork that it was mimicking. Was something paused just then or no?
No, you.
Okay, cool.
You just stopped talking.
Yeah, we were listening.
Y'all were so still that I thought my internet died. So hold on one second. I have to clap one second.
I was like looking at this to take it all in.
Y'all are such great pupils. I don't know. It really freaked me out. Okay, so some people have compiled some examples. And so this is going to be artwork from Jacob or from Scythe. And this is going to be put beside the artwork that it pulls from. Now, this isn't all stuff from Simon. Some of these pieces may be from Simon, but you can see that some of this is from like classic photos. This is from other classic art. It's owned by different companies. But there is a lot of reference, a lot of reference. Now, Jacob was being accused of not just copying in terms of layout, right? Or kind of like a blocking or arrangement, whatever, but of actually like laying things down and like full on tracing stuff. Now, clearly he's a good artist, so I don't from the standpoint of like producing pieces, like I couldn't produce any of this work.
He's capable with Photoshop.
Yeah.
Or I think he also does some canvas work as well. But I just wanted to put this in front of you, maybe get your knee-jerk reaction. It's a situation you don't know anything about, but when you see some of these photos and see some of these comparisons, how does that initially sit with you?
It doesn't bother me because so much, like, I am a reference artist. So I've talked about this on the show, I can't think of something and just produce something from my mind, especially something that has to carry some sort of realism. Now, a lot of what he does with Scythe is kind of fanciful realism or hyper realism, but I can't capture that. I can't capture that with the lighting. I can't capture that with like body positioning. I can't capture that with likeness. I can't capture that stuff. And so for me, reference is all that I can pull from. Right. And so for me, this is like, if I were tasked with doing this, this is how I would have to do it. Take an existing photograph or a compilation of existing photographs, comp them together to give me generally what it is that I want to go for, and then modify the scene around the key components, like the background images and things like that. I'm guessing people aren't really upset about the backgrounds being different. But the backgrounds aren't the thing that I would have issue with. The things that I would have issue with are the main components or the foreground pieces. And so for me, if I sit here and say that I have a problem with this, then I'm having a problem with my own skills and capabilities.
I feel like some of these are like on a different scale than others because like this particular batch, except for the bottom one, maybe feels like references, like what you're talking about, which like it is not a bad thing to take photos or like compilation of photos, like you said, and create the reference you need to draw. Like I do that all the time. Like I was just recently doing a project where I was drawing flowers and I looked at photos of flowers and I redrew them. That's like how a person draws most things, I think, like, but I think like I'm having even a trouble at the bottom one telling what the difference is between the two images. So that doesn't seem great.
You're talking about the one with the one with where they're sitting on the hillside?
Yeah, and part of it is just because it's tiny on my screen, but like I'm trying to like, and maybe there's like a sci-fi image behind them or something. Like it's just hard to tell what the difference is, and that is never good if you can't even tell the difference between the photo, like your reference and your artwork, whatever that is. That shouldn't be how it is. It's a reference. It's not meant to be 100% copied.
So the one on the bottom, Lauren, just to give you an idea, the one on the bottom. Tell me if I'm wrong, Patrick. It's actually a full image on the bottom right, and the smaller image is cropped on top of it.
On top.
And so you've got the sheep laying in front of them on the field, and then behind them is this big mech in the field.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
But both of them, it's two people. One sitting up, one is kind of like laying rested on an arm. It's the exact same pose.
It is the exact same pose. Yep.
But the other ones are like
and
photographs that at least like it's hard. I think he drew on or like, like, and if you're drawing right on top of it, that might also be complicated. But I don't think like the idea of drawing from a reference is bad at all. Like that's not it. But like you can't make your reference your artwork. I don't know how to exactly articulate what I'm trying to get across, but like
I would say of all the ones there, the full image of that bottom one is the part that's being referenced is definitely in the foreground, but it's only about 20% of the actual full piece. The full piece is focusing mostly on the mechs in the back, like because I've seen this card. It's from Scythe. I've seen this.
Sure.
But what they're doing in this this gridded reference is to show that that piece of the card is referenced from another piece of art or another piece of photography or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it starts to get a little bit gray, right? Where you're like, he painted exactly the same outfits that are on them.
Yeah. Like those guys almost looks like he cut it out in Photoshop and painted the rest of the picture.
Yeah, and maybe just added like a filter to it, right? Like
and that's not great. And
you're right, that's not great.
And I think Kate put this really well. It's good to use references, but you need to make it your own in some way. Like you actually making a painting of a photograph is a lot different than making a second copy of a photograph.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. Now if he painted this, now there are painters that can paint like that though, right? That can paint
that paint like photorealistically. And
it's hard. That's a hard thing to.
But I think it kind of is. This is a weird gray area, I think, because like if he's clipping, that's bad. But if he's using this as a reference, that's what everyone does.
Right.
Well, I will say that two things. So one, Jacob has gone on to continue to work with Stonemeyer, most recently for the Expeditions expansion for
We
Scythe.
haven't played that.
We have not. This came out last year, and so this is the most recent thing that his artwork was used on. And again, I definitely want to highly shout out Simon Stålenhag because I just think his stuff looks so good. What's interesting about Jacob, and Will brings up a really good point, which is that there's a couple questions at play. One of the questions is ethics of the work that you choose to reference. Another question is the question of skill. There's another question about that we're kind of a dialogue here about using references, but how deeply you should use them, or like what percentage of reference is okay or not okay. Like if you're using a person sitting there, are you doing it to see how clothing drapes in that position, or are you actually like taking everything? And then there's a last piece, which is the kind of the intent of the artwork. So for instance, if Jacob's idea with Scythe was to kind of take photographs from this kind of like historical Americana and then infuse them with these
war-torn Europe.
Yeah, and then infuse those with these like sci-fi elements, then maybe in order to get that point across, you would more closely want to create an image that is immediately like reminiscent of a famous image.
Sure.
But then that gets into like the point of the artwork, and that maybe even changes what's appropriate and not appropriate in situation. Sorry, go ahead, Lauren.
Yeah, well, and I think on that piece though is also the credit of it all. Like if you're gonna do that, that's a choice, that's a design choice, but then you also do need to credit the original photographer.
Well, and I will say that Jamie went on to say that in that post that I showed, he went on to say that he talked with Jacob and they were in the process of trying to ascertain all of the different references he used during the artwork creation for the Scythe process, and then actually contact every single person, and then I believe also try to reference, not reference, but credit every single person. Now, it wouldn't have been, the game was already released, it wouldn't have been in the game itself, but they were in the process of trying to contact
doing like a blog post would be cool, like just to say, like, here, the world of Scythe as brought to you by these different references from around the world.
Yeah.
That would be a cool blog page that you could then link to on the game page and all these different things. And that's a nice, I don't know that it's a must-have, but it's a nice, like,
it's an interesting, I think it's a very nice gesture for sure. It feels, obviously the game company though wouldn't have known this when they saw the artwork, you know, like it takes, like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's necessary for Stonemaier to do it, but it would be a nice, thing to do for the art community if they feel like there's enough of the community who's saying like, hey, there's a problem here. Like, okay, well, that's obviously not us, but here's something we can do as a nice gesture back.
That's always a tricky thing. I know, like, there's no like technical rules about this stuff, like and the rules that do exist are kind of very opinionated, like based on who you ask, I think, and I don't know. I just like my personal rule is that like you should try and not let your reference show. Like,
perfect.
You know.
And that's what I was going to ask. So as for putting a bow on this, Andrew, what's your kind of internal guideline? If you're drawing something and you don't have a horse, I don't think you have a horse, but let's say you need to draw a horse, you're going to pull from references.
I always need a picture if I'm drawing a horse because horses are impossible to draw.
They are the most.
I hate drawing horses.
What's your kind of internal guideline for how you incorporate that?
I look for the most talented but obscure artist that I can find and steal their work.
Someone in Sweden would be great, yeah.
And that's all it takes.
All the things that I'm drawing are usually Disney, so they're very like it's really hard to reference something that a billion people haven't already seen. No, like I don't do a lot of things that are that way. For the big like reference things that I do, they're usually commissions, and I'm referencing the photos that the people who are commissioning me to draw, their family members or whatever. So I don't have that same level of permissioning that I have to worry about because or everything else that I'm doing is fan art. And it's like it's fan art. I'm not selling it. I don't have to get into the muddy waters of that. So I don't really. Lauren, you sell stuff, so you're a bit more in the game.
And that's just like my style, I guess, like, like how I treat it, for me.
Yeah, Lauren, you don't really deal in likeness drawing.
Yeah.
Or like in realism drawing.
Yeah. And like if I'm going to draw a horse, I will find like the pose of the like as close as I can get to what I'm trying to think, like have in my head. And like, I will look at like 5 or 6 pictures. Sometimes I'll even Photoshop them together. So I can be like, that's what it looks like. Yeah. Cause like, it's hard to sometimes like horses and cars are the two things that I struggle with the most and use the most references for, to be honest. So like those are things that I will like find pictures for and like start with like getting as close as I can to that and then kind of drawing again on top of it to actually make it look more like I drew it.
I will comp things together all the time, but Lauren is so stylized in her illustration style. You'll never have to worry about that ever. Whereas me, I don't have a style. I'm classically trained in photorealism and in reference drawing. So I can do likenesses from a reference. So for me, that's going to be, if I ever decide to go into that world more and press into that world more, that's going to be an issue I would deal with more than Lauren, because Lauren automatically has a style she applies.
It's an interesting point that in the case of the Scythe artwork is very much meant to look like these like historical archive images a bit.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like
yes,
from Getty
yes,
or something. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
of course it's painted, like it's painted, but if you take a step back, it just kind of looks like a dirty older image, and because of that style choice, it makes it look even more like the references.
Right.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Whereas if you had done something that's like ultra stylized, then it wouldn't have been so apparent. And that's not to say that Jacob didn't cross some type of line, but without knowing his entire process, without knowing exactly how he arrived where he did, it's hard to say how egregious it ultimately is. And clearly it wasn't egregious enough for Stonemaier to stop working with him, because he did the artwork for the latest
And let me
expansion.
say this, that is absolutely, it has no warrant to it. So I'm going to start by saying this is slightly tongue in cheek. However, there is some reality to this. When you start to create assets for a game, and I believe this was like one of Stonemaier's very first games, you don't know how well it's going to do, right? Like there is a bit where there's like, as far as he knows, there's some obscurity to this. This blew up way bigger than I'm sure either Jamie or the artist ever knew it was going to. He did not know he was signing up for a long-term, multi-year, multi-decade art project. So there is a piece where it's just like, well, I'll reference a few of these things because 100 people are going to see him, and those worlds aren't really going to crossbreed.
And maybe those were the last few that he was on a time crunch and needed to come up with faster or something. You know? Like,
so I think that's all. I think that's all something to just consider, right? Like, well, if I had known this was going to be what it is, I would have chosen some different options. Like,
it sounds like his maybe your bread accidentally becomes your cred, and that becomes a problem. So
it's a classic cred and bread situation. Yeah.
The interesting thing will be like, did that new game that you showed already come out and you've seen everything for it?
Yeah, it came out. It came out middle of last year, or kind of like second half of last year.
It's an expansion.
I haven't played it, so that's
I'd be curious if like this trend is continued, where like he's referencing too much or whatever, you know, or if he's gotten better about it in this newer one. You know what I mean? Because if he keeps doing it after he's been called out, that's more of an issue.
Well, if anything, it just proves that he doesn't think he's doing anything wrong. That's what it means.
It is interesting that his art style has now completely shifted to just basic shapes.
Yeah, it's just, he essentially does the Kennedy. What is it? The Kennedy Center.
Yeah, he did that first logo we all hated.
Okay, whatever. Okay, that's it. So that was all a roundabout way of talking about how amazing that Simon's work is, and that also, if you've played Scythe, you just will not be able to not see
100%
Scythe in it. But
100%.
that's not because of Simon. Simon's an originator, so go check out Simon's work. I will link to the Reddit threads, but in case I don't, just Google it. If you Google Simon's name,
I was like, send it to me, and I will link you to the Reddit threads.
You'll find it. It's all there. All right, Andrew, let's finish this up.
Nacho. I have film from the past, and it just so happens that this week we watched a film from the past with our son Cooper, who is 14 and has now officially seen Nacho Libre. So we're going to talk about Nacho Libre for just a second, and we're going to end it with just a 10-question trivia that just to see what you know about Nacho Libre. I don't think it's going to be that hard. I found it on a very quick cursory search earlier this afternoon.
Love this movie.
So, but Nacho Libre, if you're unfamiliar with Nacho Libre is a film by Jared Hess. And
no spoilers, please.
Yeah, no spoilers.
For a movie that came out like when?
Yeah, let's talk about when that movie came out, because that movie released I clicked the wrong button. It came out in 2006. So this film is 18 years old. So roughly as old as Lauren is currently.
Yeah, something like that.
I clicked on the wrong thing again. It keeps bringing me to the trivia page. I don't want the trivia page. I just want the freaking... Gosh, sorry.
I'm not going to cut this out. We'll just
No,
keep
that's
this
great.
in.
No, keep it in. That's what I want. So the film's director, like I said, is Jared Hess. Writers are Jared Hess, Jerusha Hess. I don't know who that is. It sounds like it's probably
good.
some sort of sibling, or wife.
This is the person who wrote Napoleon Dynamite, by the way.
And then Mike White, also involved in this. Yes, so Napoleon Dynamite, if you're familiar with Napoleon Dynamite, kind of that off-brand, weird sense of quirky humor that seemingly only uses maybe 2 actual actors and the rest of the people in the film are all just locals they picked up the day of. Like, this film very much feels like that. Nacho Libre is a film starring Jack Black. It is a Nickelodeon movie. If you are unaware.
I had no idea that Mike White was involved, and that's crazy because he's so famous now for White Lotus,
Yes.
But like, yeah.
But this is earlier days. Days.
Hey, he will always be my Survivor almost winner.
Oh, I mean, I think of him as Mr. Schneebly.
Yeah.
Well, I know.
This is Ned Schneebly.
School of Rock.
So Nacho Libre is it takes place in Mexico, and it is this not monk, but he's a friar at this orphanage, this Catholic orphanage where he is responsible. Well, I'm not going to say all these things. I'm actually not going to say much about it because there's some of this answers will get figured out in trivia. But here's a couple things that you might not know about Nacho Libre that I read when I was going through some of these trivia notes. The song that he sings when he's singing at the party, if we've seen the movie, we all know what that song is. Let's not sing it just yet. But that song, Jared Hess admitted that he didn't have time to come up with that song, and so Jack Black immediately on the spot improvised that song.
That's incredible. That is so awesome.
Which is fantastic. It's very, very Jack Black, like totally Jack Black. And then this movie is actually based on another story. Are you familiar with this story? That this isn't just some wild thing. The film was partially inspired by Friar Storm, who is a reverend, and I'm trying to figure out his name.
And also a wrestler.
And yes. Yes,
I did actually know that. Yeah,
a Mexican priest who became a wrestler to raise money for the parish. So, like, this is.
I love that this is sort of based on a true story.
Sort of based on true events, which is crazy.
That is incredible.
Just a little fun piece of movie trivia. Jack Black did get injured when he jumped from the ring in one of the scenes, and he gave himself a black eye, and they had to pause. Filming while he got stitches and healed up. From that when he was doing some of the scenes. And then just another fun little piece of trivia, the custom sky blue and crimson colored mask that he comes up with in the film has now been kind of immortalized and is now sold by Mexican mask makers to this day. So awesome. This movie has been chronicled and has now been canonized.
It's part of the canon.
It's part of
the biggest luchador movie I know.
It's a part of the luchador canon now. You can actually get these things. Okay, one final piece of trivia on this, then I'm going to actually do some movie trivia with you guys. Did you know that when they were marketing this film, they released a weekly podcast, in the early days of podcasting, an early podcast weekly for the entire year. There are 52 episodes, and it's Jack Black doing a series of confessional videos that were uploaded. You can still find this. There will be a link to it in show notes. You can still find this. The name of the podcast is El Misión, and it has all sorts of like absolutely wrong inserted Spanish letters in the title. But it is El Misión. It's a podcast that was a confessional podcast by Jack Black. So, okay. So on that note, we're going to take a 10-question trivia.
All right, Kreider, you're officially Team Patrick. So whatever you say is what I say.
I don't even know if we want to keep. Yeah, let's keep score because it's more fun that way. So if you're playing along at home, we're going to keep this in because this one's a quick one. But we're going to take a 10-question Nacho Libre trivia. Here we go. Get your pens and
Ooh,
papers
still bet
ready.
on Kreider.
Kreider's never seen the
But
film.
he has instincts. He
All right,
has
yes,
instincts.
All right. Well,
Let's
Kreider,
go.
keep track and let's see how well you do having never seen the film. All right. So if you've never done trivia with us before, don't shout out your answers in the chat until after we go through the answers after going through all 10 questions. All right. That's the rules. Let's have fun with everybody. Don't spoil it for anybody. All right. So question number 1, like I said, it's going to be a 10-question quiz. What is Ignacio's primary job at the monastery? Is it A, a cook, B, an altar boy, C, a teacher, or D, a maintenance worker? Ignacio is the character that Jack Black plays, in case you,
Thank you. Okay,
for
great.
those of you who don't remember. Question number 2. What special ingredient is added to the monastery's food that makes it flavorful? That one's not going to be a multiple choice. What special ingredient is added to the monastery's food that makes it flavorful? Yeah, you can give wrong answers only. That's fine.
How do you spell love?
Patrich.
What?
I just got really lightheaded. Whew. I
You
almost
forgot how to
passed
spell
out.
Patrick and got
Patrick. Patrick. Oh gosh, my body got warm. Okay,
Okay,
question number
Mackenzie, you are now answering for me. Whatever you say.
question number 3. Who says, "Do you not realize that I've had diarrheas since Easter?" I'm sorry. Do you not realize that I've had diarrheas since Easter's? That's the actual line. Who says that line? Was it Sister Encarnacion, one of the brothers from the church, Ignacio, or Stephen?
Why are you not
Can
playing?
I ask
What
a
are you
clarifying question because I haven't seen this movie in a long time? Steven is like his friend.
Stephen is his friend.
Okay.
Yeah. Encarnacion.
Yeah, it's like a
All right, question number 4. Who is in Ignacio's tag team partner in his quest for wrestling stardom? Is it A, Chancho, B, Steven, C, Ramses, or D, Enrique? Who is Ignacio's tag team partner in his quest for wrestling stardom?
Can you read the names again, please?
A, Chancho, B, Steven, C, Ramses, or D, Enrique?
I have found out that if I just put your question to Google, it just tells me.
Can you believe that?
You
That's
can't
crazy.
do that, Patrick.
Wow.
No
Thanks,
fun.
ChatGPT.
All right, question number 5. What wrestling move does Nacho use to try and finish off his first opponent? Is it the A, camel clutch, the B, Mexican crab lock, the C, the chicken hold, or D, the anaconda squeeze? How do you feel like you're doing right now, Lauren? Do you feel like you're acing this?
No.
I was going to say, you don't seem as cocky coming into
I
this
haven't
as you
seen
did.
this movie in years, but I do love it. And I quote it a lot.
How does chat feel? Does anyone in chat feel good about this? Continue.
I feel great about it.
I was like, I can quote like several things from this movie, but yeah, I don't remember a lot of the like, what is first move? Yeah.
Okay. Question number 6. After losing his wrestling matches, Ignacio is frustrated and gets some advice from Steven. What does Steven say will help Ignacio become a better wrestler? Is it A, goat milk, B, poppy seeds, C, badger meat, or D, eagle eggs?
Can you say what C was? Sorry, my internet.
C is
got-
badger meat.
Okay.
A, goat milk, B, poppy seeds, C, badger meat, or D, eagle eggs. Okay. Question number 7 out of 10. Ignacio and Steven decide to crash Ramses' party, but only Steven is able to climb the wall and sneak into the house. How does Ignacio find his way into the house? I'm not going to give a multi question on that one.
Ask the question again.
Ignacio and Steven decide to crash Ramsey's party, but only Steven is able to climb the wall because he says that he is too fat and sneaks into the house. How does Ignacio find his way into the house for the party? I'll give you a hint. It has to do with what I was just talking about before we started the trivia. Okay. Question number 8. This is a yes or no. This is a 50-50 chance here. Does Nacho win any wrestling matches during the movie? Does Nacho win any wrestling matches?
Well, his nickname is Nacho.
Which, of course, Cho means wins. So no wins is literally his.
He was there the whole time, guys.
Question number 9. Ignacio is embarrassed by the trouble he has caused to the monastery and decides to leave to go into the wilderness. What does Chancho give Ignacio before he leaves? Is it A, his lucky machete, B, a loaded pistol, C, an eagle egg, or D, his lucky jade charm? This is a good trivia, and it's not actually as easy as I thought that. As I'm reading back through it,
I think if I'd seen the movie in the last last
decade,
or two, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how well I would fare on a Napoleon. I think I'd probably do okay on Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, that movie I've seen so many times, and at least parts of it are on TV that I will stir up. I'll watch part of it a lot of times. Yeah.
All right, final question, number 10. How does Steven find Ignacio after he has left for the wilderness? He, A, tracks his footprints, B, sees him from the village, C, he scours the desert, or D, he makes some phone calls. How does Steven find Ignacio after he has left the wilderness?
I just want y'all to know that Doc's last 3 comments have included the word biscuits.
The answer to every question is biscuits.
Biscuits.
A, he tracks his footprints. B, he sees him from the village. C, he scours the desert. Or D, he makes some phone calls. Okay. Anybody need any questions re-asked? I think
I've never seen this film.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I mean, I think I've seen this film, but I think I've seen it in kind of it's on the TV.
You don't know this film?
I feel like it's been on the TV and I've been in the room.
Okay, all right. Well, here we go. All right, chat people.
This is not. Listen, if you wanna ask me questions about Hot Rod or about Napoleon Dynamite, I will knock it out of the park. But not Nacho Libre.
Yeah, I would do better on Napoleon Dynamite, but that's
okay.
Good.
I'm not sure Cooper's seen Napoleon Dynamite, so that's gonna be the next one. All right, here we go. Question number 1. What is Ignacio's primary job at the monastery? Lauren, do you know that one?
I believe he's the cook, right?
You are correct. He is.
I remember the scene where he's serving the salad.
Yes. He is. With all the different shapes that he makes in there with the characters and things. Okay, so he is a cook. He is a cook. All right. Question number 2. What special ingredient is added to the monastery's food that makes it flavorful? This is a key part of the story. It is the chips. Those are the chips for the children. The children's chips.
The lines are just so funny. That's why I remembered that stuff, because it's just hilarious.
So it is not love.
It is not love. Right, that is true. Those are the orphans' chips. Okay. All right, question number 3. Who says, do you not realize that I've had diarrhea since Easter's?
I vote Steven.
You say
I think
Steven
it's probably Steven, but I put it was the brothers.
It was one of the brothers from the church.
Yeah.
Yes, in fact, it was. It was the guy he doesn't like very much, and they have this banter back and forth. That's exactly right. Okay.
Oh my gosh, Will is gonna absolutely beat me on this. Number 4.
Will is gonna beat you on this.
Hey, there's a yes or no in there.
There is a yes or no. All right. Question number 4. Who is Ignacio's tag team partner in his quest for wrestling stardom? Laura may have given this away, but who was that?
Steven.
It was, in fact, Steven. Patrick, did you get that one right?
Put Ramses.
Steve. Ramses is the villain, which I did remember.
Yeah, I kind of realized that about the sneaking into the house question, but then I was like, maybe he was sneaking in the house to recruit him.
You can go back and change your answers before we report in, Patrick.
I am
if
stubborn.
you have time. There's literally a do you need me to repeat anything era.
Ramses number 1, he said.
I would like to answer the next one.
Go for it.
All right, you want the next one? All right. What wrestling move does Nacho use to finish off his opponent?
The chicken hold.
It is not. Lauren, do you know what it is?
I thought it might be the anaconda squeeze because of how you pronounced it.
It is. He goes, anaconda squeeze. He still loses, by the way. He still loses that match.
You triggered an audio memory.
Yeah. This movie is mostly audio. Oh, there's visual too, I guess. Which is what makes it a movie and not a radio play.
I will answer the next one. Can I get double points on the next one?
Nacho Libre.
Question number 6, Patrick. If you get this one, it is triple points for you. Okay? Lauren, if you get it, it's just normal points.
It's regular points.
Okay. After losing his wrestling matches, Ignacio is frustrated and gets some advice from Steven. What does Steven say will help Ignacio become a better wrestler?
Eagle eggs.
It is, in fact, eagle eggs.
That's
That is
right.
correct.
I did not get that one right.
It is correct.
Doesn't he get attacked by an eagle multiple times?
No.
Or am I thinking of another movie?
You're
I definitely
thinking
now-
of Almost Heroes with Chris Farley and Matthew Perry is what you're
That's
thinking
what
of.
I'm thinking of.
I do though now like see the scene where they're like doing the eagle's nest and getting
Chris-
the eggs and they have to climb up the mountain.
He
Like-
cracks it and he eats it and then he dives off into the water.
Listen, when you hear the sound, is it Chris Farley who like makes like the surprise
yeah.
look
He goes,
for the
Whoa! Yeah. You hear the caw sound of the eagle. And then he gets it he finally gets it down and then he cooks it and eats it.
I need to go watch that. That's a way
That-
better movie.
That was
Continue.
his last movie. That was his last film. His last full
Oh.
film. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
Sad. Cool.
Yeah, sorry.
Sad and cool.
Ignacio, this is question number 7. Hey, it's 1-1 now, Patrick. Now we just have to wait for
Okay,
Lauren
yeah.
to say something.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 7. Ignacio and Steven decide to crash Ramsey's party, but only Steven is able to climb the wall and sneak into the house. How does Ignacio find his way into the house? Do you remember this, Lauren?
I guessed it said that he charms his way in, but I do very vividly remember the guy like crawling through the vents with like the.
That was Steven.
Yeah,
And that was
yeah,
when he
yeah.
was
I
already in
remembered
the
that.
house. No,
He pretends to be the entertainment, the singer.
yes. Did you guess that or
Oh.
did someone tell you?
I guessed that.
That's it. He
That's
pretends
awesome.
to be one of the musicians and he walks in. He's
was
one of the
because
Mary,
you
one of the
All in
Mariachi.
another category, but it's not anyway. Like Patrick's is
It's
much
because
closer.
you said Lauren may have given it away, and y'all had just been talking about. Oh wait,
That
No,
would make
that
more
was the one
sense.
that I said that
No,
it was
no,
him
you-
making up the
Steven.
song.
Okay, never mind. It's you made the comment that it's something about what I mentioned at the beginning of this, and then I
Yes.
remembered you talking about him making up the song on the spot, and
Yes.
that's what I thought
Should've
you might have been
realized.
referencing.
Yep, that's exactly right. Good job. And it works out because he has the same puffy shirt as the mariachi band that walks in, and so that's a great song. Okay, this is your 50%.
You got this one, Patrick.
This is your 50% question here. You got a 50-50 chance on it. Does Nacho win any wrestling matches during the movie?
I voted no.
Lauren?
I also voted no.
It is set up for you to feel like the answer is no, but in fact, it is yes. He wins
I couldn't
the
remember,
very
yeah.
last one, and he's only able to even wrestle in the final match because somebody gets injured, and so he gets brought in by default because he was in second place. But he does win one. So if you said yes, you get your points.
Okay.
All right, question number
Right.
9. Ignacio is embarrassed by the trouble he has caused to the monastery and decides to leave to go into the wilderness. What does Chancho give him before he leaves?
Lucky machete.
Yes, that is
I
exactly
thought that was
right.
it too. Yeah.
He goes, take my lucky machete.
I was like, it's like, what is the funniest answer? That's the answer.
Yeah. All right, and then the final question: how does Steven find Ignacio after he has left for the wilderness? I'm gonna do air quotes on wilderness.
I do think he just sees him from the village.
He goes, "How did you find me?" He goes, "I just looked from the village." He's like,
I was like,
up
I
on the
remember
hill.
it's really
He's just
stupid.
standing on the hill, like,
Yeah, like-
what is probably 200 yards from the village.
All right.
After this
Yeah,
whole
like-
montage. So
I
What?
remember, isn't there like a montage of him going away and then they
Yes.
like cut
And
out
he's,
and
like,
he's like
checking-
just down the
yes.
hill basically? Like,
yeah, it's
What?
wild.
How many did you get, Lauren?
8.
You beat me by 1. I got 7.
Oh, no, sorry, 7.
We
You guys
tied.
tied.
Yay.
My triple points.
Yeah. Triple point saved you.
It gave me
Everyone
3.
wins.
I really needed that 3.
I will say, rewatching this film,
You just saw it though. I was like very impressed with Becca's 9.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm not
just-
impressed. You did just see it though, so that is
see it.
helpful.
I will say, rewatching this film, it holds up. Like, and I forget how many lines I've actually pulled from this movie that I say in my daily or weekly life. It's as many as what was the film we watched at your house that one time, Patrick? That I said I quote a lot from this film and I didn't realize it.
Well, I know why you don't remember it, but it was Austin Powers.
Austin Powers.
We were watching the second one, I think, but yeah.
The second one's great.
Yeah.
I mean, both the first 2 are great. Everything else, whatever.
I forgot how much I quoted that, or I forgot the origins of so many of those quotes. This was a similar kind of movie where I'm like, oh yeah, that's what this is from. I say that all the time.
One of my favorites is when he writes her the letter and it's like Jack Black's voice reading it aloud and it gets to the bottom and it's like X's and O's and it's like
kiss.
Big hug, little kiss. It's so funny. I also love when he's like, sometimes when you are alone, you must wear stretchy pants.
Sometimes when you're in a room, you wear stretchy pants.
Lauren sounded a little bit more Russian, but
I was like,
sometimes when you're in a room,
I'm doing my
you
best.
wear the stretchy pants. It's for fun.
That line when he talks about that is so funny. Or it's like sometimes when you are a man, you must wear stretchy pants when you are alone. That's what it is. It's so funny.
I get to stay in a room by myself all my life. It's fantastic.
My life. It's the best.
If you've not seen this movie, please don't go another week without having watched it. You can't find it unless you is the best. You can't find it anywhere other than Showtime. If you have Paramount Plus Showtime, which is apparently Paramount Plus Showtime add-on,
so if you have Showtime, you can watch it.
$13 a month or whatever. You can watch it. Otherwise, we just rented it on Apple TV. It was $3.99, totally worth it. It was a wonderful film to watch. If you've not seen it, please go see it. It's classic Jack Black.
It's so funny.
And it's just, you will walk away with so many one-liners. So
Selma Hayek is the nun, right?
No, it's not. I thought it was. It's not.
I was like, who plays the nun?
I'll
look it up.
Could tell you.
Sorry.
Yeah, she's like Dollar General Selma Hayek.
Anna
Reguera.
Let's go to her IMDb page.
Yeah, what else was she in?
I ate some bugs, I ate some grass, and with my hands,
Army of the Dead,
my tears.
Cowboys and Aliens.
The Forever Purge.
Oh,
okay.
Okay, everybody.
Army of the Dead
that's
could have
be
been a really good movie.
For our master category. So let's roll some dice to figure out what we're talking about next week. And then we can call this episode done. What does everybody say about that?
I have rolled a 2 for my big dice and a 1 for my tiny dice.
A 2 for your big dice. You got trivia.
Awesome.
Trivia.
Trivia?
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I rolled a 5.
I'm gonna roll. A 5, you say. Low numbers. Architecture.
Architecture.
I got a 5 too, so we're gonna have to re-roll. Sorry, Andrew.
Sweet. Okay.
Yeah.
3.
3. TV. And I got a 16. It's gonna be books. Great, perfect.
Guys, I feel like we are living into our own genre.
A big book. Perfect.
Wonderful. Okay. You can find show notes and links to the stuff that we talked about in this episode over at mof1.network. While you're there, you can find a whole mess of episodes from over the years. 500 and no, more than that at this point on there, because we've got, so many. This is a decade. We need to do something for our decade. We got to figure that out.
Yeah.
We'll poll the audience. We've been doing this for 10 years, so there's plenty of content in there for you to choose from. So go check that out in the archive. While you're there, you can also find that little Slack icon. That's that little hashtag logo. That helps you join the conversation day in and day out. Join us over here on Twitch, where you can watch this every week when we record this live. You can be part of the conversation. It's more fun to do this in person because you get to be part of the show. And so much of the stuff we talk about is visual. It's really the best place to find all that stuff.
We had lots of visuals today.
We really did.
Lots of
Go over
sharing.
twitch.tv/M of1 podcast. You can follow there and you never have to miss an episode. And if you subscribe, you don't have to pay anything if you have a Prime membership, because every month Jeff Bezos lovingly gifts you one Twitch subscription. You can hand that subscription over to us. We will gladly take it from you, and we will say thank you from the very, very bottom of our hearts. But you can do all that and then leave a rating and review on all the different podcast platforms. Let us know that you've left a review so we can go read it on air. We love to do that. Tell us how to talk, and we'll do it for you. It's the political season. Lauren's got a really great Trump impression she's been itching to do. So leave some of those ratings and reviews and let us know about them. But I think for now, you can find us with M of One Podcast on all the different socials. You can find me at Andrew Sale with 3s instead of E's. Lauren, do you have an internet now?
Oh, yes. I'm at Not Cool Co. everywhere.
And Patrick, you're online.
Yeah, it's at Burstin' at the Biscuits.
And that's on all the platforms, right?
All the platforms, yeah.
Okay,
It wasn't taken.
Can you believe that? All right. Well, Sir Mix-a-Lot, that's been a fantastic episode. We will catch you next time. But for now, I'm Andrew.
I'm Lauren.
I'm Patrick.
Hey, have a peace out of a time.
Adios.
Bye.
Biscuits. You know what really burns my biscuits? This was a thing that a guy used to say. My youth pastor used to tell me growing up. His pastor would say this from stage. He grew up in rural Georgia. Patrick, you're familiar. And he would say, "You know what really burns my You know what burns my biscuits? You know what really burns my biscuits, ladies and gentlemen? People who don't love Jesus."
He would just all the time.
That was his thing. Yeah, that was his thing.
I kind of love that.
People who don't love Jesus.
It just said so nicely.
Yeah. But
like it's
so
not even like
so
it's burning your
judgmental.
biscuits so bad. Like
Yeah, why is that so burning of your? That's fine, whatever. Patrick, I do have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you like John Oliver?
Yeah, I'd say for the most part. Why?
Okay. I was listening to his current episode on Smartless. They had him on the latest episode of Smartless. And as he was talking, it dawned on me, like, I feel like he would be someone you would really, really like. And I'd never thought of him in that regard. But hearing him in an interview portion as opposed to like from his
talk show version,
it made
I think
me.
He's awesome.
It was the first time I thought, like, I wonder if Patrick listens to him, because I think he would like him.
Well, it's interesting. You never know how much you like the host and how much you like the writing room. So I don't know how to like separate those. And in fairness, I've never listened to any of John Oliver's stand-up. So I'm pretty sure he has stand-up as well.
He does do stand-up, yeah.
I've never listened to any of that. So he
writes a lot of his own stuff, though. He writes a lot of his own stuff.
So, I know he used to work on either Daily Show or Colbert
Daily
Report.
Show, yeah.
And then obviously he does John Oliver. What's it called?
Last
Week Tonight or whatever it is. Yeah.
And he's Kazu in The Lion King.
That's true.
I forgot. I would say probably like once a month I'll watch like one of his episodes, depending on what the topic is, and I generally like it, but I don't really know much about John Oliver.
I've never watched an episode of Last Week Tonight, but after listening to this episode, I really want to watch some tonight.
I don't watch every single episode of Last Week Tonight, but I watch most episodes. It's very good. I think he's very good at explaining things very concisely and in a way that's like very easy to understand, even if it's a very complicated topic, and still be entertaining.
And in some ways, like,
he was also on Watch What Happens Live last week, and it was very funny, and I loved it.
In some ways, he feels okay. It's nuanced, but I would say I do like him a little bit. Who's the mainstay from the Daily Show?
Jon Stewart.
Jon Stewart, another John. It's a nuanced difference, and it's not that I don't like Jon Stewart. I mean, generally I do, but I would say that John Oliver somehow feels like slightly more empathetic to me, and maybe like he's still funny and he's still cutting, but I don't know, for whatever reason, like I vibe with his satire better than I vibe with like Stewart's satire.
He feels more satirical. Jon Stewart feels more sarcastic.
I think it's maybe also that like John Oliver is technically like 1 degree removed from our politics by being British, so it's
so
like
so do you think it's like a mental thing?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like easier to take.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the difference, but
it may be.
Yeah.
It could also just be delivery and
they do have different styles for sure. Yeah,
style.
but I like John Oliver. He's great.
Stewart, like Oliver never says anything that I just hear as being like mean, if that makes sense. Or like there are times that Stewart will say something that I just feel like he's just really going after somebody. And
I think the difference might be like cutting sarcasm versus satire.
Yeah.
And maybe it's his British accent just
softens the blow.
Well, that's what Laura's saying. Like maybe that's enough. And again, like I don't think it's to a big degree. It's almost, I think it's more of a nuance than not. But from listening to them both, I would rather listen to Oliver over Stewart. I would rather listen to Stewart over almost anyone else. Like if I think about all the other people that have helmed that type of show, Stewart and Oliver are almost the only two that I would want to listen to.
You don't like Colbert? You don't like Stephen Colbert?
No, what's funny is I did not like him as much when he went to his late show.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And that might be because of this. I don't know if his writing room changed when he made the jump. I don't know if it's just a casualty of the format or what it is, but
he started on the Daily Show as well, right? So like he was a correspondent as well on the Daily Show.
No, I know that. Listen,
so
I used to watch the Daily Show before Jon Stewart, so yes. I know
when it was
that.
Bob Hope.
But I'm just saying that
back in the 1860s.
Yes, I liked the Colbert Report. I did at the time, but there was enough of a shift that I do not like Colbert as much now, and I would not actually want to sit and watch Colbert. Where I do still want to sit and watch John Oliver, and I would still sit and watch Jon Stewart.
On that note, have you guys? Let me look real quick. I want to make sure I get the title right because the title is kind of everything for his book.
I agree with that, Jedi. By the way, what I do like about Stewart is that I don't think he's someone sitting on the sidelines, just like throwing stuff at someone else. Like I feel like he's actually in it, and Oliver has shown that he's in it too in terms of like, some of the stuff he does, like forming his super PAC and that type of stuff. But no, Stewart's gonna like show up to a congressional hearing and like jump in. Like I know that we've seen all the work he's done around firefighters that were affected and stuff like that. So
there's a Colbert's book. I can't find it right this second. I believe it's called "I Am America, and so can you."
Yeah,
that's a great title for a book. And then he wrote America.
You've read it, right?
Yeah, I have. I've read both of them.
Okay.
I love Stephen Colbert's approach to just his delivery and things. But I think I've never really given a ton of interest to John Oliver. But after this, I feel like, I saw a different side of him. I'm gonna actually take in some of his content because I think I'll actually like him. So
there was a really good episode about homeschool education that I really enjoyed. By the way,
you're familiar with that?
I've heard about it
by the illustrious Carol
John
Hill.
Oliver one. The homeschool.
Yeah, the John Oliver one.
Yeah, I think I've seen that one.
But it's like it's a more extreme version of it than what I went through. But it's I don't think I've ever watched any of his segments and didn't ultimately find them like insightful or interesting. So even if the topic itself is not a topic I'm interested in, it's always presented in such a way that I do still find it captivating. So for anybody that hasn't watched it, I think it's worth watching. The other thing is
I learn a lot.
There are longer segments, so you do need to carve out some time to sit down and watch. So
yeah. Okay, everybody, let's hop out of here.
Cool.
This was a fun one.
Hey, this was a fun one. All right, everybody.
No, never mind. I'll tell you this off air.
Okay, that's good.
We've lost listeners over this topic, so we'll just wait and do it off air.
We should do it later. All right, everybody. Good evening. Enjoyed hanging out with all of you. Enjoy the rest
dreams,
of your
everybody.
evening.
We'll catch you.
Yeah.
We'll catch you next time.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
You bring the lighter. I got the fuse. You make a fire. I'll add the fuel. Follow my lead. Just watch your shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool. Just wait up.